Welcome from Brussels, UTOPIA Studios. Paolo Bozzacchi with you for a new interview for the Watcher Poll EU. We have the pleasure to host today Mr. Luigi Di Maio, European Union Special Envoy for the Gulf region. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Let's remember Deputy Prime Minister in 2018 for Italy, former Italian Minister for Foreign Affairs, and in 2022 President of the Council of Europe's Parliamentary Assembly. Mr. Di Maio, first question on today's geopolitical challenges. How should the European Union position itself in the next mandate?
I think that we have many challenges ahead of us, but if we look at the next term and the next mandate of the European Commission and the European Parliament, we should work about the next target, that is the European Common Defense. This is something crucial, not just on the side of the joint procurement, for instance, because this is just a part of the most important project and ambition that we can have for the next years, that is to co-design as member states together with the Commission, with the Parliament, a new idea of the European Union posture at the world level. I spoke about the defense, but the defense, it goes hand in hand with the common European foreign policy. We have something already on this side, but I think that our ambition has to be to set up a new level on the foreign policy and on the defense system of the European Union, that are two important tools in order to compete at the world level with several geopolitical and bigger actors.
What are the ways for the relationship between the European Union and Gulf institutions to be further strengthened?
Well, let's start first of all saying that 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, the European member states, I was still Minister of Foreign Affairs, realized in a way that the level of the relations with the GCC countries, between the European Union and the GCC countries, was not at the level that we deserve. And this is why we approved as member states a new strategy called Joint Communication for a new partnership with the GCC countries. This strategy, among the several chapters of this strategy, there was even the idea to appoint a new special representative in order to implement this strategy. So the European Union during the last year, even through my office and my team, increased the level of the partnership, establishing new kind of channels, not just on the political and security side, but even on the trade side, on the renewable side, on the people-to-people side, on the level of new partnerships between the institutions. And this is of utmost importance, in particular now, after the October 7, the terrorist attack of Hamas against Israel, and after that we are understanding that there is the risk of a spillover to the rest of the region of the conflict in Gaza, because these GCC countries, the GCC as a regional organization and each country of the GCC, are strategic partners for the European Union, not just on the bilateral side, but even in terms of multilateral work and cooperation in order to work for the de-escalation. They are even crucial on about the Ukrainian file, and some of them are even going to sign agreements with Ukraine. So you can see how much, in particular after the Russian aggression against Ukraine, how much those countries are becoming crucial and even, if I may, at the center of many multilateral dynamics.
Let's go deep inside your role. It's a facilitating role, and what are the main challenges in implementation of this foreign policy and security aspects of the EU joint communication, as you mentioned, on a strategic partnership with the Gulf?
If I may, I would like to underline first that, as you can see, my mandate, the perimeter of my mandate,
it's a year now, no?
It's a year, exactly a year on June 1st was exactly 1 year. And I would like to underline that the perimeter of the mandate is first of all linked to the 6 countries of the GCC in the Gulf, and even in their relations. It depends, relations is just one of the words that we can use, but in their relations with Iran at the regional level, not the nuclear program, for instance, on about the Iranian file or others. I would like to underline that, because then I'm working hand in hand, of course, with my colleague, special representative for the Middle East peace process, but there is another special representative in charge for basically Palestine-Israel dynamics. I'm working about 5 pillars: trade with the GCC, second, renewables, renewable energies, in particular hydrogen, third, security, regional security, and fourth is the point about people to people, and fifth, the partnerships between the institutions. During the last year, on the trade side, just few weeks ago, the European Commissioner, Catherine Simpson, concluded the discussion with her counterpart on the Saudi side, is the Minister of Energy of Saudi Arabia, and they are going to sign a memorandum of understanding between European Union and Saudi Arabia on the energy cooperation. Second, on the renewables energy, we had many opportunities during the last years to try to increase the dialogue even on the regulatory framework. For instance, when it comes to the so-called the hydrogen and green hydrogen, our main challenge is to establish, first of all, a sort of common regulatory framework in order to work and to deal together. Third, on the security, we establish a new kind of channel, 2 new kind of channels of cooperation with them. The structured security dialogue with EU GCC at senior officials level. The first meeting was in Riyadh in January this year. And second, the so-called high-level forum of the foreign ministers, even the foreign ministers of the European Union, including Italy, were together with the foreign ministers of the GCC for the first ever forum under Chatham House rules, in order to discuss about the main topics of the moment. Young Diplomats Program, another program that we established during the last year, is on the people-to-people chapter. The young diplomats from the GCC, they were in Bruges at the European Diplomatic Academy a few weeks ago, and they had joint training and simulations with our young diplomats from the European Union. And our relations between the institutions, we have to solve 2 mistakes from the past between EU and GCC. The first is the trade agreement. Honestly, it's a little bit, it seems a joke, but it's not a joke that there is an ongoing negotiation between European Union and GCC on the trade, for the free trade agreement, since 34 years. There are officials in the European Commission that are younger than these negotiations. And second, the visa issue. The visa issue, it's something, it's one of the main priorities on the side of the Gulf, of the GCC, but has to be even our priority in a way. Why? Because how we can try to increment, to implement new kind of flows of people between our 2 regions, students, researchers, entrepreneurs, investors. We have to facilitate this exchange of people, if I may. And on this side, we just adopted as Commission, after 1 year of work, we had the opportunity to adopt a new decision on the visa issue. According to the new decision of the Commission now, all the countries of the GCC, when they apply for a visa, they have a validity of 5 years. It's the system of the visa cascade. In the past, it was just for Kuwait and Qatar at 5 years. Now, all the GCC, except UAE, that already got the waiver for the liberalization of visa, the rest of the GCC countries now, they have the opportunity to have a validity of 5 years. Now, the next challenge, but we have to wait the new term of the Parliament and the new term of the Commission, is to try to work about the total liberalization of the visa.
Can we expect the total visa liberalization in the next mandate?
Of course, it depends. It depends on a lot of events that will, I hope, will happen during the next term of the institution of the European institutions. But if I may, now is in the making this project of the European Union GCC Summit. Is the first ever, never happened in the past. So if this summit is going to happen, because President Charles Michel is still having interactions with the leaders of the Gulf, it could be a boost. Obviously, is not in the mandate. Is not the business of a summit to liberalize the visa, but you can understand how much a meeting at the highest level of the leaders in UGCC, it can be a boost if in the Parliament and in the new Commission there is this sensitivity about that. I support this process because is in the joint communication UGCC, is a priority of the member states, and I think we have the liberalization of the Schengen visa with many countries at the world level, with strategic partners like the GCC countries, is important as well.
Let's go back to the urgency. The urgency is the political stability of the area, of course, of the Gulf area. How EU-GCC strategic partnership could be crucial, in your opinion, for the peace process in the Gaza area?
We have two different levels. The first level is on the short term, to have a sustainable ceasefire in Gaza. And about that, as you can see, among the others, Qatar is crucial because it is in a way the country, together with other countries of the Gulf and of the Middle East, like Egypt and Jordan, they are working about this ceasefire, and Qatar is one of the countries that has, in a way, channels opened on both sides. The second point will be how to implement the process of the two-state solution. And about that, I think that Saudi Arabia will be fundamental because, as you know better than me, on 2002, they launched the so-called Arab Peace Initiative. And now the Arab Peace Initiative is not outdated, is still a process, a path in order to implement the process of the two-state solution. And this is why I think that we will work more and more with them after the ceasefire, with the GCC countries. And finally, if we look at Bahrain and Emirates, they are UAE, they are in the Abraham Accords, they are still in the framework of the Abraham Accords, and the Abraham Accords will be another channel, important channel for the de-escalation in the region and the normalization.
Two last questions. One, it's my curiosity. What Gulf countries are asking European Union to improve?
Many things, of course, but I think that now we are on the right path, because the real problem of the past, and I'm speaking about the European member states, it was an engagement, of course, but not at the level of strategic partners as they deserve and as we deserve. And the second point is that, in particular, during the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, after even the disruptive effects of the COVID-19, and I think that we, in a way, understood better that we have to deal with them at the same level, with a mutual understanding and with the effort, showing the effort of a mutual understanding, even for some kind of things, of chapters or issues that where we do not agree, because it's possible between strategic partners, even between strategic partners, that we not agree about something. But this has to be, in any case, in a framework of collaboration and cooperation where we understand each other and we are able to work about even the issues where we are divided, if I may.
Last questions, just on the same issue, same level you mentioned. Is there any Gulf best practice useful for the European Union near future that you would like to mention?
I think that European Union and GCC, we can learn from each other, if I may. So I think that what they are doing about some kind of investments in some specific sectors, like artificial intelligence, like renewable energies, hydrogen in particular, they are investing a lot in hydrogen. It will be crucial for our future, because according to Repower EU program, we are going to import 10 million tons of hydrogen by 2030. They want to be, many of them, they want to be the first supplier at world level of hydrogen by 2030. These two paths are proceeding in parallel now. We have to connect, and this is why I'm very happy that we were able, during the World Economic Forum in Riyadh, we were able to announce the conclusion of the discussion between Commissioner Simpson and the Minister of Energy of Saudi for this MOU. And if I may, we just inaugurated in Riyadh the first ever European Chamber of Commerce in the Gulf. It was something new, and we attach a lot of importance at this dynamic, because the main challenge now for our companies in Europe is try to take the momentum for all these vision programs in the region, these programs of investments, in order to be part of this incredible deal that they are implementing there. And in order to do that, European Union and the European Chambers of Commerce at the world level, they have to be a fundamental platform in order to facilitate this dialogue. And it's happening, because just at the inauguration, many European companies, they joined the European Chamber of Commerce there, they joined the membership, and now they have a platform in order to speak with the institutions of Saudi. Our ambition is to open in many other countries of the GCC this European Chamber of Commerce. I would like to take even the opportunity here to congratulate you for the launch of the Watcher Post, and even for the new opportunities that you have ahead of us. I'm sure that even the studios will be, these new studios will be very important for the dialogue between the private sector and European institutions.
Thank you very much for your time. We remember Luigi Di Maio, European Union Special Envoy for the Gulf region, from Paolo Bozzacchi, UTOPIA Studios, Brussels. Goodbye.
Goodbye.